Hello everyone. Today is excuse me. It's Wednesday, July 20th, 2022 at 8:48 a.m. It looks like the weather is supposedly bad today or a rainy day. Like today is a rainy day. And so I have to check out this hotel room within 2 hours. So I mean, I know the people might be like, oh, well, she got nerve to ask for $115 for another night or whatever, you know. Well, I was hoping that if I wrote about, well, I was too tired to write 5, so I wrote 4 short stories, and I was hoping that if I would write some that, if people could have tipped or donated and helped me out, you know, for excuse me, help me out with like towards another night, if I would, but so the second short story yesterday that I put on a community post, I thought that I liked that one, or I thought that one was better, excuse me, than the first one that I put. I put 2 out of the 4 on there, and I wanted to write a 5th one, but I was so tired. So last night, um, my stomach was hurting so bad, and everything was hurting. So different angles of my head was hurting. They were hitting me in my right ear with the high pitch ringing, and my right hip was hurting, and my stomach was hurting. And so then I took the bentonite clay, and like almost immediately after my dinner, and then I had to pee like every 5 minutes for like a couple of hours. And then eventually my right hip did stop hurting. It stopped hurting. And so so then I went to bed at about 11:30, and it was a night where I slept pretty good, and I woke up about 8:39 this morning. And so I slept a lot of hours, and I slept pretty good, but the thing was that I had to keep getting up to pee a lot throughout the middle of the night, but maybe that was detoxing. But I felt like this can't be healthy, all this just, you know, flour that I've been consuming, I guess, for the past couple of weeks. This biscuit, that biscuit, pancakes, um, tacos, or, you know, yesterday I had chicken and dumplings. I figured was no better, but I hardly had much of, I think I had pasta a couple of times, but, and then it seemed like with the chicken and dumplings, they cheated me and gave me like a half a container of the chicken and dumplings, and then they they were kind of stingy with the chicken. Like you had way more dumplings than the chicken, a couple of pieces of chicken, like small little strips of smaller little pieces of chicken. But I figured that saved the day with the beans, the pinto beans. They had some tiny little pieces of pork in it, like some like maybe pickle meat or something. I don't know, but so oh, and those powdered donuts, yeah. So it's like I've been just eating what I can afford or what I had the money for, Oh, and I guess bread too, So it's like I think it was last week. I only got to have like once or twice maybe some rice, and the rice was like a small bowl. It wasn't even a whole lot. So and then a couple of times I would have potato, but it was like ever since after COVID or whatever, 2.5 years ago, almost all, except one restaurant I know, but almost all restaurants stopped serving oatmeal. Even if it was the steel cut oatmeal, they'll still serve. That was a point in that time they stopped serving grits and oatmeal, and then they started back on serving grits again. But they don't serve oatmeal anymore. And then they cut off almost all, except maybe one or two, the like a lot of the healthy juice and smoothie places. The majority of them, it's like they got rid of them. Like they used to have a juice place called I forgot that it was called Stripe or something downtown. They got rid of that, or Swipe or Stripe or something downtown on Palafox Street. And they used, it's that place where they call the Ride Society. Well, I guess you do cycling in motion. I mean, it's like it's like they have these places where you do cycling, and in like in place, like a stationary cycling club or something, the Ride Society or something, and you just ride on a stationary bike, and it's like a club or whatever, kind of like a gym, but except you just ride. And that place used to have like a lot of the healthy stuff. They cut that out. They cut out a lot of places with the acai boys, just a couple of them, and they just have like and then when I first came here to Pensacola, it was by 532 West Garden Street where they wrongfully, well, I was sleeping at for a long time. And that place had a lot of juices and smoothies. And the fake Everman place where I'm wrongfully banned from for the rest of my life, they have juices and smoothies for like $5. And I'm wrongfully banned. I cannot go there for the rest of my life just because I was homeless and trying to stay out of the rain. And then I was trying to be a customer later on and go buy some food like I would do every day when I first got here. And that lasted just barely 2 weeks. And they made it like just because I was homeless, and I was sleep deprived, and it was raining, and I was trying to fight against dozing off, and they made first they said I was banned from a official trespassing, no trespassing ban for a year. And then now they try to say that I'm banned from both locations of Everman for the rest of my life. In certain places that I'm banned for the rest of my life just because I'm homeless. And I'm like, well, what if I would have gotten, if I just got here to Pensacola, what if I would have gotten housing a week later? So I mean, a lot of people talk about how they have a lot of the rich folks have, the rich folks in their covert racism downtown Pensacola. So so it's like hard to find. They have them, but it's hard to access or hard to get the convenience to go to, someplace with a lot of healthy juices and smoothies. And then, if you go to Publix and try to buy some like bottled juice, even if it says cold pressed, they've been sitting there for like days. It's not even fresh. And then it's cheap. It's kind of expensive, but cheaper than the actual juice bars. Shucks, I wish I had my own. I wish I had enough money to have my own juice bar business or food truck driving around or whatever. I could be a whole lot healthier. And And it's like, well, wow, if I wouldn't have got banned from Everman, I probably would have been. I mean, with the convenience of being so downtown, I could have, been a lot slimmer than what I am, and been healthier, sleep better, more energetic, and everything. I could have been sleep better and have more physical energy and be more properly functioning. I mean, $5, between $5 and $6 a smoothie every day, and I forgot the name of that at 532 West Garden Street, that place, that smoothie and juice place that got shut down. But they were nice to me, but eventually, shortly before they closed, that's when they started perping me. And one of the employees at that now defunct juice and smoothie place, they were pointing and laughing at me, And even in New Orleans, downtown, they have like about three um, juice and smoothie places other than Smoothie King, because they got Smoothie King all over New Orleans, and they got like about two locations here, and so the other smoothie and juice places, they got like three of them. Oh, they had like three of them back in 2019, and I even felt then it's hard to find a place with wider variety of fruits and vegetables or salads or juices, and it's just like, unless you have your own place. And then when I did have my own Section 8 home, even I was working and I didn't have the convenience or affordability to, I was working at the zoo, and I still, like, I was pressed for time and also could not really afford healthy fruits and vegetables and salads a whole lot. And me eating the zoo food, that was, of course, the food from the zoo, so it wasn't really that healthy. New Orleans food, it tastes really good, but it's not all that nutritious and stuff. But some people say that the good ass New Orleans food is it's responsible for us walking around with such big butts, big asses and stuff. Candy got a big old booty. Yeah, so I mean. So, and I noticed how much weight I've gained, and I'm like big now, and it looks like my face is starting to look older, like I'm aging or something, But everybody else would tell me I still look like I have a baby face. But I wish I could get to have easier access to more affordable and healthier food and stuff. And then when you go to these restaurants, they give you tiny portions. Like, they'll give you like a 1 ounce bowl of fruit for $3, and then it's fruit that's like moldy and going bad. It's not really that healthy. I mean, it's not really that fresh or whatever. Like, it's lost its nutritional value. Like, if I were to go somewhere and they slice up some strawberries to put on pancakes, I'm like, put the strawberries on the side. And then when I get the strawberries, it's like they be all old and stuff, and so old I gag on them and can't eat them. But I can't get the convenience to go to Publix or the grocery store every single day, and don't even have the money to go there every single day. Especially lately, I've been having to panhandle and beg almost every single day. So yeah. So yeah, my stomach was, oh man, I almost thought I was gonna explode last night. I almost thought I was gonna explode last night. So I guess it's too late now, or just about too late for me to walk down there and get some more powdered donuts. That's all they have, rather than a full breakfast layout. They don't have that no more. Just just small little packs of either chocolate or powdered baby donuts. That's 3 to a pack each. So that no way is that healthy. And they have coffee. So I don't drink coffee because of the fake foster mom Ann years ago. I know I'm out of her life, but it seemed like certain habits and stuff, it seemed like it just stuck with me throughout the years. Um, like for a long time, well, in foster care, they used to not allow us to cook or eat with butter, but they would cook with butter for themselves, and then they want us with the margarine because it's cheaper, and then they blame us for getting fat and stuff, you know. And the foster stepdad used to load almost everything he cooked with sugar. He used to even put sugar in cabbage. So and then they used to blame us and call us fat and had us on those psych medications. They used to call us fat and call me fat and greedy. And so, and they had me bogged down on those psych medications, you know. And so I just was reminded to myself yesterday that while I'm addicted to sweets, but then again, you know, the stuff that costs less, what I can afford to eat. So I wish I was, you know, had my own business or my own entrepreneurship, and you know, but the gang stalkers will halt that, and they have halted, you know, my short stories and my ebooks for me to try to get sales and stuff. And narcissistic abusers, they would be self-righteous if they do art. They would not be narcissistic and self-righteous about and throw it in your face and try to make you feel ashamed. They try to make it like, oh well, I don't try to seek to make money off my artwork or stuff like that, you know. But I'm like, what's wrong with that? They got people who make sales. I mean, they try to make like as if I'm greedy, scamming, and covetous for, you know, trying to seek to make a living from my writing, while everybody else can do it, and they promote evil. You know, if somebody had a whole book called The Gospel of Witchcraft and was making a whole bunch of money off of that, who gonna call her covetous? But you know, so I offer my ebooks and short stories for free, and if you want to donate, then you know I give you the free will choice. You know, but I was trying to do the books for free on Amazon, but they say, well, you have to put in a price. So I try to charge the lowest $2.99. You know, and then people who pretended to be fake supportive, then they were telling me that I was selling myself short or ripping myself off, and I should charge more for the ebooks. And I'm like, well, I just wanted to be nice and generous, you know. And they're like, well, you should charge more for your ebooks. But now all of a sudden you got mad and changed against me after we got into an argument and I exposed your narcissistic abuse and sly, slick, subtle perping. And then you turn around and change your narrative and be like, oh, and hop on my twin sister's bandwagon. You know, but it looked like my twin sister left me alone, you know, and I kind of feel bad because it seemed like she's going through, no, I don't want to say kind of, I do feel bad, you know, very bad about whatever health issues she might be going through, you know. And I've been feeling like, but scared to try to, but wanting to reconcile, but scared. But I know that the topic of me talking about gang stalking would be off limits. And that would cause us to argue again if I were to tell her, well, they had a perp that did this to me or something like that, you know. So, I mean, I feel like I wouldn't know what topics it's like I would have to have certain topics that I'm allowed to or forbidden to talk about. But if she could be freely talk about whatever she would want to talk about. But it seems like as if the main blame of why we can't get along nowadays is that foster care system. the foster care system, MK Ultra, and mind controlled us to be polar opposites so that they can make us out to look crazy so that they can make a lot of money off of it. And I heard it's not uncommon that they would MK Ultra one twin to be resistant and the other twin to be compliant, to make us polar opposites. And I heard that happened with other sets of MK Ultra experimentation. And my theory is you become if you're not controllable or programmable, then you become a targeted individual. If you're not controllable or programmable with the MK Ultra, then you become targeted. Or if you're like non-conforming or non-compliant and stuff, then you become a TI. Or people see you as a threat. And I was 4 and 5 years old, and people made it like as if they were threatened by my intelligence and stuff like that. But then they used to say I was badly behaved, but then they used to say I was crazy. Well, they didn't start calling me crazy till I was, until I became targeted at 14. But certain things about my life make me question whether or not I was targeted since birth. Because I felt like I was born into this world and never accepted or appreciated, So I talked longer than I planned to. I was just going to do a 4 or 5 minute video. But I just hope the video is fully uploaded by the time I get out of here. And so I don't know if it's going to be raining by the time I get downtown. And they had this lady who sent me $25 yesterday. And she gave me a narcissistic lecture, used the Bible. She sent me $25 and then used the Bible to give me a narcissistic lecture about how she wants me, that God sent somebody in her, that God, prompted her last week to help somebody with groceries. And then she come a week later, she said that a week ago that God prompted her to, that God told her to buy somebody some groceries. And so then she sent me $25, and then she tried to tell me focus on Philippians 4:8 and 9 and meditate on those scriptures. And then she tried to tell me don't mention anything at all about gang stalking for the rest of the month. And I'm like, see, and this is the type of people I get mad and block. Because then you start acting like a perp and stuff, but you use the Bible. And then you start to act like a perp and everything. It's like, we need to be outspoken and vocal about these crimes against humanity. And then people want to take it lightly. That's how I know you're a fake TI perp, when you want to take it lightly, or if you're a regular perp. And there's some people who profess to be Christian, if we're being freaking tortured, destroyed, and ruined, nowhere in the Bible does it say to just ignore, like the Bible actually says we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. So, I haven't had that happen in a long time, for somebody to donate me money in the hopes that I would shut up about my targeting. If they donate me money in hopes that I would shut up about my targeting. But I have to show my doggone gang stalking, because then I tried to do that earlier this month, or like a week or two ago. And what happened? That situation with the police incident happened. So that's the reason why I'm not shutting up about my gang stalking. Because if I didn't have them on film, those girls probably would have beat me with the scooters. Who knows what those cruel ass kids would have done. But they know I had them on film. But the girls even threatened me on camera. The teenage girls, they even threatened me on camera. And I thought children had a curfew. How the hell were these underage teenagers allowed to run the streets at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning? And then on Sunday night too, like which was early Monday morning, how and why were they able to freely run the streets if children? There's usually a curfew for children and teenagers and stuff. So I figured that was a gang stalking street theater set up with the fake homeless perp lady. What she did, they got some people who recognize that lady's the white lady, that she was definitely a perp. And then she acted like she delusionally believes she militantly owns that spot when she was not sleeping there at all the previous nights. But when I try to, consider that my new spot, I probably wouldn't even need to be asking for a hotel room if I could have had that spot for myself. But then, no, I gotta be, I can't be protected from the rain now because that has wider shelter overhead than the spot where I had been at. So, and then she get more privacy, and I gotta be more out in the open and more seen by everybody. So, yeah, it's like they know what they're doing. It's like they don't want to allow me to be hidden or have any privacy anywhere, but they can have it, steal it for themselves, and you know, the gang stalking network, they probably paying her to sleep there, and she probably has her she probably has her own, secretly has her own place to live, and they're probably paying her to prevent me from sleeping there. I mean, it's just crazy what they do and nonsensical what they do. You know. So unfortunately, it's now come on, man. It's 9:15 a.m. and I gotta go. I wish I did have extra help with the with like $115 for a hotel room another night tonight, but I gotta go back on the streets tonight. But thanks to all of you who did help, and I'm still waiting on a answer about that doggone job. But I wish I could make my own money from my writing, which the perps are stopping me.